What does it do, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Scotty Says I Am Your Host. And, well, the magic carriage turned into a frozen pumpkin in Green Bay. There was no more cooking for the baker. And he went from the man to a guy. And so the LA Rams were finally officially put out of their misery and eliminated from any playoff contention. And we knew this weeks ago, but it is official now. And this is the worst title defense of a Super Bowl champion in NFL history. Thank you, Sean McGenius and the LA Rams, for that ignoble dishonor. And so, let's just sift through the wreckage, shall we? This won't call for much of a game analysis, but what I will say is that the prognosis for the future looks bleak to me with the current direction that the Rams seem to be heading in, because from all accounts, what I see is that McGenius is planning to essentially run it back again next year with pretty much the same cast of underperforming characters. So what we got hot off the press this morning, Maddie from the Poltergeist, announced via his wife's podcast that he is not retiring from the NFL, that he will return next year at age 35. Now, of course, he's done for the rest of this season, but he's planning to come back. The LA Rams owe him a considerable sum of money. $27.5 million they owe him next year at age 35. And then there is an additional year on the contract for $31 million more for 2024, at which time he'll be 36. So for this seemingly breaking down quarterback, certainly aging before our very eyes, the Rams have a grand total of $58.5 million tied up in salary. And for that amount of money, hey, I guess I wouldn't retire either. And so, how much wiggle room do the Rams really have with this kind of money invested in the Poltergeist? So, Maddie from the D will be back. And I imagine Sean McGenius is dreaming of Higbee soup next season. More Higbee, the return of soup. He's dreaming of more Stoney. And the Buster, I guess, will return. And the real, a.k.a. imaginary Van Jefferson. I may have to start calling him Drip Jefferson or 2 Chainz. Did you see his jewelry? He had 1 chain for most of the year. And then after that miraculous win against the Raiders, he came out in Green Bay. He's got 2 chains now. I don't know. He didn't play worth 2 chains. Maybe he should have kept the 1 chain. But it looks like that's the plan. Bring this whole underperforming cast and crew back. What will AD 99 the Beast do? We don't know. He talked about retirement last year. He was the only Rams player selected to the Pro Bowl this year. What about Ashes? Will he return next year and continue being torched, burnt, lit ablaze, and set afire by opposing quarterbacks and receivers and tight ends? And so I don't know how much room the Rams really have to make moves. And it looks like McGenius is happy with the characters that he has. And so if, in fact, they plan on running this all back next year, I'm afraid we're looking pretty much at the same result. So, as far as the game in Green Bay, well, it was 15 degrees out. Ooh, chilly. On the inactive list, we had AD 99, the Beast, and the Wolford. See, and that's another one. He's probably going to bring the Wolford back because he loves him. See, these are McVay's proteges. The Wolford and Stoney. You know, he loves these guys, even though they are inadequate in terms of quality NFL caliber talent. All right, so, I mean, you know, you got the Baker, and I tried to put some respect on his name after that Raiders game, but he was plain and pedestrian in Green Bay. Maybe coming in with no prep time and all that adrenaline served him well, because with 10 days to practice and learn the plays and get up to speed, he was awful. I mean, he was, I do believe you could have gotten more accomplished with Bryce Perkins. And that's all I really wanted since the season was over. See what you got with Bryce Perkins, but McGenius would have no part of it. And I hope Bryce Perkins moves on, lands somewhere where people believe in him and give him an opportunity to play. Now, you had Tutu. Dropped a pass. It could have possibly been a touchdown. That pass that he dropped may have been a game-tying, game-changing reception. Dropped. And so, you got Cam the Grill, Akers, what are you going to do with the grill? And so it's just, it seems like a cesspool of messy fools that the Rams have on the roster right now. And so the numbers from the frozen tundra were in fact frigid. The Rams only had 156 total yards of offense. Ooh, paltry. They had 84 total passing yards. Ooh, wimpy. They averaged 3.6 yards per play. Ooh, tanky. They only had the ball 22 minutes, so they damn near got doubled 2-1 in terms of time of possession. All the numbers clearly favored Green Bay. And the final number, the score, 24-12, was double the Rams' point output as well. And then, of course, all the injuries this year. The O-line shuffle was in full effect once again in Green Bay. Center Brian Allen went down. And so that's 14 offensive line starting combinations in 15 games. Just horrific. And so, next up, the Denver Broncos on Christmas Day with Dangerous. Now, these are two awful teams, both eliminated from playoff contention with awful quarterback play on both sides of the ball. And so, I am desperately trying to sell my ticket, and I have to sell it at below face value. Sheesh. Baker Mayfield went 12 of 21 for 111 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Pretty pitiful. And the receiving core, the imaginary / real Van Jefferson, a.k.a. 2 Chainz, a.k.a. Drip Jefferson, 2 catches for 32 yards. Tutu had a catch, but he had that big drop. Brandon Powell, 1 catch, 4 yards. Stoney. Oh, Stoney. 1 catch, 3 measly yards. And so, this is where it is, my folks. I'm planning to change up the channel profile a little bit, touch on some other topics, because the Rams, I tell you what, are not very exciting conversation. And so what I need you to do is throw me one of these. Throw it to me now. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a happy holiday season and a wonderful and prosperous new year. Please stay tuned to the channel. Look for a new direction in 2023. And until then, my friends, one love.